Most people get it wrong when it comes to mushrooms. Some think they're all just squishy toppings for pizza. Others believe they're miracle superfoods that can fix anything. But the truth? It's a bit more complicated and a lot more interesting. As always, we'll be using our signature tier list from S tier, where we place the most beneficial mushrooms down to D tier, which you should probably avoid altogether. Let's begin. E1. Shiitake. Shiitake mushrooms have been used in traditional Asian medicine for centuries, especially in Japan and China. They're rich in lentinin, a beta-glucan compound that's been studied for its immune-boosting properties, anti-tumor effects, and even as a supportive agent in chemotherapy. They contain good amounts of B vitamins like riboflavin, B2, niacin, B3, and pantothenic acid, B5, as well as copper, selenium, and even a modest amount of vitamin D when they've been sun-dried. Nutritionally, they offer around 2 grams of protein per 100 grams and a decent amount of dietary fiber. Culinary-wise, they're beloved for their meaty, umami-rich flavor that holds up well in stir-fries, soups, noodles, and even plant-based jerky. The texture is firm, which makes them feel satisfying, almost like a meat replacement. Without hesitation, I'm putting shiitake in S tier. They're nutritious, delicious, versatile, and backed by real science. 2. Button mushrooms, white mushrooms. You've seen them everywhere in salads, on pizzas, inside microwave meals. They're by far the most common mushroom in Western diets. Nutritionally, they're low in calories, provide a bit of potassium, selenium, and trace B vitamins like niacin and riboflavin. But here's the catch. Most commercially grown white mushrooms are cultivated on animal manure, often from livestock that are fed hormones and antibiotics. There's a non-zero risk of trace contaminants making their way into the product. They also contain agarotine, a naturally occurring compound that's suspected to have carcinogenic effects when consumed in large quantities, although cooking significantly reduces it. And let's be honest, they're bland. So despite their popularity, I'm putting button mushrooms in C tier. They're affordable and accessible, but far from the best option. 3. Lion's mane. Next up is a fascinating one. Lion's mane. It doesn't look like a typical mushroom, and it doesn't act like one either. This shaggy white fungus contains hericenones and erinacines, compounds that stimulate nerve growth factor, NGF, potentially supporting brain cell regeneration, memory, and focus. It's been studied in relation to mild cognitive impairment, anxiety, and even Alzheimer's. Nutritionally, it delivers about 2.5 grams of protein per 100 grams, plus antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds. Taste-wise, it's subtle, almost seafood-like, with a texture that mimics crab or lobster, especially when sautéed. For its potential cognitive benefits, antioxidant density, and culinary uniqueness, I place lion's mane in S tier. It's not just hype, it really earns its place. 4. Portobello. Let's move on to something heartier. Portobellos are simply fully mature cremini mushrooms, and they come with a deeper, richer flavor. Often used as burger substitutes or steak replacements, they've become a favorite in vegan and vegetarian cuisine thanks to their dense texture and meaty bite. Nutritionally, they offer B vitamins, selenium, and potassium. However, like their white mushroom cousins, they also contain agarotine, and since they're bigger, the absolute amount is higher, so always cook them thoroughly. Due to their flavor and utility, I place portobellos in B tier, a versatile kitchen staple, but not a superfood. 5. Reishi. Now we're entering the world of medicinal mushrooms. Reishi is not your average kitchen ingredient, bitter, tough, and wood-like. Reishi is typically consumed as tea, powder, or capsule, not as food. It contains triterpenoids, polysaccharides, and beta-glucans that may support immune health, reduce fatigue, and promote deep sleep and relaxation. Some small-scale studies show it may help reduce cortisol, improve mood, and support liver health, though more research is needed. Because of its historic use and broad wellness potential, reishi earns an A tier. It's not tasty, but definitely powerful. Think of it as plant-based adaptogenic armor. 6. Enoki. These thin, noodle-like mushrooms are common in Japanese and Korean dishes. Often found in ramen, hot pot, and rice bowls, they're valued for their delicate crunch and mild flavor. They're low in calories, offer modest amounts of niacin, thiamine, and fiber, and have shown antibacterial and anti-inflammatory activity in lab studies. But they spoil fast and are vulnerable to contamination. Several outbreaks of listeria have been linked to poorly stored enoki mushrooms, so handle with care. Because of their texture, unique culinary role, and moderate benefits, I give enoki a B tier. Lovely when fresh, but be selective. 7. Chanterelles. Let's explore something fancy. Chanterelles are golden, trumpet-shaped mushrooms with a fruity apricot-like aroma and rich, earthy depth. These mushrooms are high in iron, copper, vitamin D, and carotenoids, like beta-carotene, powerful antioxidants. They're also a great source of dietary fiber, helping regulate digestion. They can't be commercially cultivated easily, so they're often wild foraged, which increases both cost and variability. But if you get your hands on fresh ones, you're in for a treat. Chanterelles earn an A tier. Flavorful, nutrient-rich, and elite, but not everyday mushrooms. 8. Morel mushrooms. Morels are a true treasure, both nutritionally and gastronomically. Their sponge-like cops soak up sauces beautifully, and their earthy, nutty flavor is unmatched. They're rich in iron, copper, phosphorus, vitamin D, and contain around 3 grams of protein per 100 grams. They also score high on ORAC antioxidant tests. However, raw morels contain hydrazine toxins, which are destroyed by cooking. And worse, they have look-alike species that can be deadly, so only forage if you know what you're doing. For their complexity and value, morels go into a tier, a mushroom for the seasoned gourmet. 9. Oyster mushrooms. Oyster mushrooms are incredibly popular in both traditional and modern cuisines. They grow rapidly, adapt well to different substrates, and cook down beautifully into stir-fries, pastas, and tacos. They offer a respectable 3 grams of protein per 100 grams, lots of niacin and potassium, and a natural compound called lovastatin, which may help lower cholesterol. Their antioxidant content includes ergothioneine, a rare amino acid linked to cellular protection. Because of their affordability, health benefits, and culinary range, oyster mushrooms land in A tier, a smart choice for everyday meals. 10. Amanita muscaria, fly agaric. Let's talk danger. Fly agaric, that red mushroom with white spots from fairy tales, is one of the most iconic and toxic fungi in the world. It contains muscimol and ibotenic acid, compounds that affect the central nervous system and may cause hallucinations, nausea, seizures, and even coma. While some indigenous groups used it ritually and microdosing communities are experimenting with it today, the risk of overdose, toxicity, and misinformation is high. Amanita muscaria belongs in D tier. It's not a food, it's a warning. 11. Cremini. Cremini mushrooms, also known as baby bellas, are the middle child between white button mushrooms and portobellos. They're more mature than white buttons, but not as developed as portobellos. They offer a slightly deeper flavor, better texture, and more nutrients, including a bit more selenium, potassium, and niacin. But like white mushrooms, they're usually grown in the same conditions with the same substrate issues. So while they're better than buttons, they're still not outstanding. Cremini earns a C tier, a step up but still in the middle. A. 12. Maitake, hen of the woods. Let's finish strong. Maitake mushrooms are truly special. Their layered feather-like structure is beautiful, and their flavor, earthy and rich, is just as impressive. Nutritionally, they're packed with beta-glucans, vitamin D, especially when dried in the sun, potassium, and copper. They've been studied for their anti-cancer, blood sugar lowering, and immune-enhancing properties. They also contain D-fraction, a polysaccharide compound under investigation for tumor inhibition. Cooked in olive oil or roasted, they develop crispy edges and a savory aroma that rivals meat. Affordable in many places, they're accessible and therapeutic. Maitake earns a firm place in the S tier. It's the full package flavor, function, and availability. That's it. You've now seen the full mushroom tier list. Some mushrooms are nutritional powerhouses, others are more about flavor, and a few, well, let's just say they're better left untouched. Remember, not all mushrooms are created equal. Some boost immunity, others support the brain. A few are just there to make your risotto pop. Let me know in the comments, what's your favorite mushroom? Which one do you use the most, and have you ever tried a medicinal mushroom like lion's mane or reishi? And if you found this helpful, be sure to check out my fruit tier list video packed with fun facts, hidden benefits, and powerful swaps to optimize your daily nutrition. I'll see you there.